right, today's class is all about the spine. So I tried to pick a lot of movements that get the spine into flexion, extension, lateral flexion, twisting. Lots of spinal mobility is the theme here to keep us strong and flexible and mobile in our spines. So, starting standing, I've got Eve here, so we'll see if she stays out of my way for this. And just warming up by a light twist, letting those arms flail side to side. And a slight bend in the knees, legs are hip-width distance apart, connecting to your core. Warming up the body. Definitely turn on the core here so you have some stabilization. All the spine stuff, we really want to be protecting that low back. So if at any point you feel pain or sharpness, anything, just limit your range of motion and obviously stop and do less if anything is bothering your spine today. And then let's take one arm up and over, big side bend. And then reaching across the body down towards the floor, coming through center, both arms reaching to the floor here. Letting the head be heavy, getting that nice stretch through the posterior chain, the back of the body. And then coming up the other side, slowly rolling up into that side bend here. Oh, feels so good. Going back down, reaching across the body for the floor, and coming through center, and over to the other side. And slowly coming up to a side bend here. And then reaching both arms up. And big arm circles, pressing back. Again, keeping that soft bend in the knees. Core is activated. Warming up those shoulders. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep those arms back behind you, a little hinge forward. And you're going to have your palms facing each other here and really pull those shoulder blades together. And then widen the shoulder blades as those palms flip towards each other in front, round the spine here, and then press back. And as if those arms are moving through water, really reaching out of the fingertips, activating those muscles through the arms. Really having that intention is so important. Have that mind to muscle like connection, neuroplasticity kind of thing where you know what muscle you're working and you turn it on. Because it's really easy to just kind of flail the arms around and not really feel anything. So you want to be sure that you're turning those muscles on. So now let's really kind of accentuate this movement even more, adding like a real extension of the spine here. So you're kind of letting that booty stick out, round that back backwards. I don't know, that's rounding. And pull those shoulder blades together. And then as you separate the shoulder blades, we round the spine into flexion forward. And then press back, extend, feel that width through the chest as you open up. And then round, 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 pull the belly button back. Just move through this flow. My shoulders are already burning a little bit. Flexion is when you round the spine forward, and extension. And the back of the spine extends. So smooth with my words sometimes. All right, one more each direction. And then hold that roll forward and coming to the back of your mat, slowly rolling all the way down. All right. And then slowly walking out to your downward dog. Sending those hips high, trying to anchor your heels, and then pedaling it out. Bending one knee at a time, and then really trying to drop that other heel and get that calf stretch. And then you're going to reach one hand to the opposite shin and twist, and then we switch. Obviously, if you can't get to your shin, that's all right. Just go as far as you can. Twist and reach. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And walk those hands back to your feet and slowly stack the spine as you roll up to stand. Whew. Let the blood come back to your head. And we're going to do some split squats or lunges. So let's start with the left leg forward, right leg back. So you're going to come down into a split squat or lunge. And so we want the front shin and back thigh to be vertical. So your hip is going to stay right above that knee, and that knee stays right above that heel. And you're just going to swing those arms overhead as you sit down, and then arms come down as you stand. Use your breath. Exhale as you lower. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand tall, quick break. And we're gonna do center squat before we switch to the other side. So legs are just hip width distance apart. You're just gonna sit, hands into prayer, and stand. Give you the side view. Send that booty back and stand. Make sure those knees are not going in front of your toes. And you want that knee in line with your second toe. And press those arms back as you press the hips forward as you stand. We've got 4. We're gonna go even lower, last 3. Another inch lower, 2. Last 1, hold it down, and then twist, hook elbow to opposite knee, and breathe. And coming through center, we switch, hook the other elbow, and twist. And coming back through center, stand tall, shake it out. And now we'll have the right foot forward for those split squats or lunges. Here we go. Arms reach overhead as you sit down. And press. So front shin is vertical, back thigh is vertical. Whew. So part of my spine wellness is making sure you have strong, flexible, mobile hips. So you want both your hip extensors, which is really all the glute muscles, and your hip flexors to be stretched, open, strong, to support that low back. So I've got a lot of hip strengthening stuff in this class as well. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand tall, shake it out. Coming to the back of your mat again, walking out to that down dog. Catching your breath and shifting forward to your high plank. Nice long body reaching out the crown of your head and your heels. And then slowly lower, keeping elbows in into a push-up, all the way down to your stomach. All right. From here, we're gonna reach arms overhead, and we're gonna lift arms, head, chest, and legs. So we're gonna lift everything up, lift from the glutes, engage the core, and lower. Reach, find a length in your body, and lower. Reaching out of the fingertips and out of the toes, strengthening those back muscles. We lift. There goes Eve. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the last one. Can you lift opposite limbs a little higher for swimming? For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. And you're gonna rest your forehead on your hands. And let's start with bending the right leg. And then lifting that right hip up off the mat, rolling onto the left hip. Opening up that right hip and twisting the spine. You get a nice opening of that left shoulder as well. And then rolling back down to center and extend that leg long. We switch, bend the left leg. Lift that left hip and over onto the right hip. We twist and open that hip. You should feel a nice opening through the front of the right shoulder as well. This is really good for mobility of the spine, shoulders, hips. 1 more each side. And switch. And now 1 more on each side. We'll add opening that top arm up so you really feel a big opening in the front of the chest. And lower everything and switch. Leg and arm open up. And hand back to the mat, roll back through center. And from here, tuck those toes under, lifting up to your high plank. All right, we're gonna draw knee into opposite elbow and switch. We alternate. Really get that knee across. We're working obliques here. We're twisting. So this is a little different from the mountain climber. Mountain climber, usually your butt's a little higher and you're driving those knees straight up. So we're keeping that more of a plank position. And twist. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, finish strong, drop the knees, press back, child's pose. Walk those hands over to the left side and sit back. And over to the right. And back to center. You're going to come up to hands and knees. So hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. We're going to do bird dog. So we're going to reach opposite limbs long. Pull knee to elbow. Reach long and lower. And we alternate. Reach long, pull it in, extend, and lower. And switch. Reach, in, and out, and lower. Pull that belly button to spine. So you're going from a neutral spine here to that flexion around the spine, and then extend and lower. This exercise is really good for neuroplasticity, to turn on both sides of the brain, connect to your body, feel the balance and the symmetry. Reach. Last two. Last one. And we're going to swing around now to a seated position. Hands are behind your back, fingertips facing towards you, feet into the mat. And we're going to lift those hips up, coming to this tabletop position, and then lower. All right, so just kind of feeling what that feels like in your body. Now we're going to bring it back up to the tabletop, right foot over the left knee, so you're in this figure four stretch position, keeping your hips together. You're going to lower and lift. So hips are square, staying level with each other. Pressing strong through that left heel and left glute to lift. Finding width through the front of the shoulders. Make sure those hands are nice and wide on your mat. I'm shaking. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up, extend that leg wide, bend it back, wide and back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back, we pulse those hips up an inch for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eve's been licking my back. And lower those hips and stretch out those legs forward. Reach for your toes, stretch it out. All right. Thank you, Evie. All right. Hands back behind you. Lifting up. Left foot over to that figure four position. Lower those hips and lift. Keep those hips level with each other. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it lifted. Leg goes wide and back. Wide and back. Straighten or point those toes. Trying to stay steady in your torso. Really strong through that right heel. Here we go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend it back, pulse it up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, lengthen those legs out, and stretch it forward. And coming to sit tall, feet into the mat. So a lot of distance between your heels and your sit bones. So just a slight bend in the knees here. We're going to do rollbacks. So reaching those arms forward, we start nice and tall. Round that spine, tuck the tailbone under, pull belly button back. Feel those lower abs turn on, coming to your sacrum here, and then reach back up. So you're just lifting a couple inches and roll back. Find that sacrum and roll back up. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, that's a shaker. All right. Now we're going to roll down and hold it in that sacrum position, and arms are going to twist side to side. You can stack your arms like this, bent in front of you, or keep them long together going side to side. All right, so rolling back, find that sacrum, plug in the lower abs. We twist side to side, up and over those knees. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit tall and extend those legs out long, reaching arms forward. Plug that belly in again, rolling down to your sacrum, this time with the straight legs, and we're rolling nice and controlled all the way down to the back. Reach arms overhead, just a big stretch. All right, arms down by your sides, and bringing your feet together, knees wide. So you're just getting a nice opening of the hips here. Legs are in a diamond shape. And hands behind your head. We're just gonna crunch it up from here. So think chest lift rather than crunch. So lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, lift, and lower. So we're thinking up and then crunch forward, up and forward, rather than just forward. And thinking about lifting from your center rather than lifting from your head or neck. Let the head be having it heavy into your hands so you're not feeling a strain on your neck. So now we've shifted from those lower abs to upper abs. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. And working your way to roll onto your stomach, coming to a child's pose. All right, coming back up to hands and knees again. We're gonna do a cat-cow spinal wave. So as you round the spine, you're gonna send the booty back towards your heels, and then lower those forearms to your mat, shift forward, and coming up, straighten those arms out, and then round, press back. extend the spine, forearms, press up, extend that spine, and then around, send it back. So once you get a hang of that wave, kind of going in a circular motion, you'll just flow right through it. Really feeling that spine go from extension to flexion. One more. And we meet on your forearms, staying here, bringing your hips right above your knees. Sort of a modified puppy pose. We're going to reach one leg out to the side and just sit back, moving back and forth a bit, stretching out that inner thigh. If you want, you can walk your hands forward and really let your chest fall between your arms and let the thoracic spine get some extension and stretch the front of those shoulders. And coming back to your neutral spine and pressing those shoulders back and down wide. Bring that knee back to center and we switch, other leg out wide. And just going back and forth, opening up the inner thigh and hip. Reaching those arms forward if you'd like. Letting the chest drop to the floor. Coming back to your forearms, bring that knee back in. And we're going to swing around to a Z sit. So bringing that left shin in front of you, and right shin is reaching back. So the left leg has an external rotation of the hip, and the right leg has an internal rotation of the hip. So your legs are making a Z, and you're going to place your left hand to the mat, keep reaching that right hip and sit bone down towards the mat. Right arm goes up and over. Taking a slight bend in that left arm, feeling the triceps turn on to really support you through that left hand, pressing firmly into the mat and lifting up and over to the other side. Keep reaching those hips down to the mat. And switch. Now we're going to bring that left arm through. So you're threading the needle here and really twisting. Oh yeah, got a nice crack in my spine. And then untwist, side bend, and press up and over, counter stretch. Oh, that feels so good. We'll do one more. Up and over, and then thread that needle through, twist. You can put that right elbow, right forearm on the mat, and really separate those shoulder blades and get that stretch through the back of the shoulders. Really wringing out the spine here. This twisting is so good for your digestion. Up and over one more time. And then we're going to switch the legs. So now right shin in front, left shin reaching back. Right hand to the mat. Left arm up and over. Reach that left sit bone for the mat. Press strong through that right hand. Big side body stretch. Spine into lateral flexion. Pressing up and over other side. And then up and over. And thread that needle through, twist. Feels so good. Untwist. Up and over, counter stretch. And one more, just like that. Up and over. Anchor that sit bone. Twist, thread the needle. side bend. Up and over, last counter stretch. And coming to a seated position. Let's stack the shins if you're up for it, if this feels okay for you to do a double pigeon here. So left shin is on top of the right shin. Sitting nice and tall, reaching up and folding forward. Letting forearms drop and head drop. Feeling that wonderful stretch through those glutes. And pressing up to sit tall. We'll switch right shin on top of the left shin. All right. Reach up, sit tall, fold forward and reach. Coming down to forearms, dropping the head. And if dropping the head is not in the cards for you, or forearms not even in the cards for you, that's totally fine. Just reach forward, each inch forward as much as you can. This can be a pretty deep glute stretch, so it's kind of intense. But really opens you up and really helps release back pain when you open up your hips like this. Super important for me. And coming back up, you can just sit in a more comfortable position. And as always, finishing with one last grounding breath. Let's reach up, hands together, pull that prayer down to your heart, and just take a nice big inhale. Exhale through the mouth, let it all go. And I hope you enjoyed that class and your spine feels wonderful today. Thanks for joining me.